Hello, welcome to Bird's Nest Designs. Tonight is Thursday, April 2nd, and I am here to share with you a fabulous and fun technique. This one uses household products you likely have ready to go, combined with some of your craft stash to make an amazing, fun technique background. So join me if you want to learn all about the crayon wash background and put together a very pretty birthday card. So for those of you who we haven't met yet, welcome to Bird's Nest Designs. My name is Denise Cox. I am the heart and hands of Bird's Nest Designs. I'm a Stampin' Up demonstrator, and most of all, I love sharing the creativity and inspiration with all of you. So say hello in the comments. Let me know you're here. And as I watch back on this replay, I will read every comment and comment where I can. So usually we are live Thursday evenings. Tonight something's come up. I couldn't be live, but I did not want to miss spending this time with you guys and sharing some inspiration. So here we are, we're recorded, and we're going to get right straight to crafting. So keep those comments coming. Remember, I love to hear and know who I'm stamping with. All right, so here we are ready to go make this beautiful birthday card. And here's what you're going to need to do the crayon wash technique. You're going to need some crayons, and more importantly, more specifically, you're going to need a white crayon. So bust open those old school supplies. Maybe your kiddos left some at the house, have some in the corner. Or if you're like me and you didn't have any, I just picked these up at the dollar store. So I got a white crayon. We're going to need that. You're going to want to pick an embossing folder that you love. I love the Lazy Daisy 3D embossing folder, so I've chosen that one. And you're going to need a color of your choice. Of course, I've picked Strawberry Slush because I love pink. And you're going to want a water painter, okay? So crayon, embossing folder, ink, and a water painter. That's what we need, super simple. And we're gonna just take all the pieces out of the way here. What I'm gonna do my technique on is just plain basic white cardstock. This one measures 3 3/4 by 5. And we are going to just check this out. I had to do this because I was so in love with this folder. Look how beautiful that is. Isn't that pretty? I love this. I love it. One of my favorites. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to open up your embossing folder. If you're using a Stampin' Up embossing folder, we're going to be working on the side with the black printed Stampin' Up markings on it. So you're going to want to open up that embossing folder, place your cardstock directly on, just like this. Okay, got it? Then you're going to take your crayon, okay, and we're going to just color over top of this. Color, color, color. You're not going to be able to see much of this in the video, but trust me when I say I am just coloring this with my white crayon, trying not to break it. I don't want to break it. So I'm coloring it. Now you can do what I'm doing right now, and you can color the entire surface. You could color bits of the surface. I do have a sample done like that, so I'll show that to you too near the end. Okay, so I'm just making sure I got all my pieces here colored. Okay, you can go over it again if you want to. Just kind of make sure it's nice and covered. Okay, so as I mentioned, you likely can't see what I've done here in the video, but you watched me do it. If I show you like this, you can probably see a bit of glimmer of crayon on it. And that, we're going to take our embossing folder and set it aside. Okay, now we do need a piece of scratch paper or a glass mat, something like that. So I've got my scratch paper over here. I'm just gonna fold it in half. It's very dirty on the other side, so it'd be a bit distracting. So we'll just fold our puppies here in half, and we've got our piece like this. All right, now what you want to do is take a water painter. I'm just going to use the largest brush, this one right here. It's dyed pink, but it is clean, so it's clean water coming out of there. And as you just heard me say, I've got water in the paintbrush, okay? Then take your Strawberry Slush, or whatever color you choose to use, ink pad. And we're going to open it up, and you want ink on the lid. So the best way to do that with this style of ink pad is to just add a droplet or two of your refill right here in the lid. So I already got some in there, so I'm just going to put a bit. Okay. All right, now we get to start putting the magic together and watch the fun happen. So here's my water brush. I'm just going to squeeze a bit of that water out into the lid here. Okay, and then I'm going to just mix it about. Now, are you ready for the magic? Here we go. So we're going to just start painting over our cardstock. And you're going to see that pretty pattern start coming to life. Okay, and do you see how that paint is, or the ink is resisting where the crayon went? So you can see how fun and exciting it is to watch this come to life. I just love it. I saw a video doing this. It was an old video Lisa Curcio had done, and oh my goodness, I saw it and I was like, yep, I have to try this one. It looks super fun. So we're gonna just color this. Now you can go over it as much as you like, and get it as dark as you want. But what do you guys think? Isn't that gorgeous? So much fun to do. So easy. Nothing crazy needed. Like I said, if you don't have crayons lying around the house, head on over to the dollar store. You could grab a box. Make sure it's got white. I haven't tried it with any other color. Maybe you could do it with another color too. Okay, I'm happy with that. What do you guys think? Isn't that beautiful? All right, so we're going to put these things back. I will clean that after the video. I'm going to close up that ink pad for now. And we're going to let this one dry. So remember I mentioned that you could do just bits and pieces instead of coloring the entire thing. That's what I did here. This one's all dried and ready, but see, I just kind of chose sections to color my ink on, or color my crayon on, and then it only resisted in those spots. So that's a very, very cool technique as well. And this again is the one where we did the full panel. Okay, so while that's drying, we're going to put together the other pieces we need for our card. So I've got a scrap piece of white here that's 3 inches. Where did I put it? There it is. It's 3 inches wide, and I did that intentionally so it would fit through my mini boss. Okay, so we're going to use our mini boss for this guy. And then I've got this gorgeous Extraordinary Washi Tape. And if you guys haven't used this before, you are in for a treat. This is beautiful. So let me just, what you want to do, if you've used washi tape before, you know it's quite sticky. All right. And this is a very big roll. So it takes a little bit of force to get it to unroll. But look at the images that are on here. Aren't they pretty? Notice the color. We got strawberry slush. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this washi tape right down directly onto this white paper. And I'm going to make sure it is nice and flat. Oh, I forgot to grab my snips. Give me one sec here. Okay, snips. Here we are. Okay, so we're going to just come in here and we're going to cut that off. Now, if I was thinking, I would have been a little more careful so I didn't cut this beautiful purple flower. But that's okay, because if you notice, I should have showed you guys that while I had this unrolled. This layer section is pink. The next section is a purple tone, same floral images, but purple. And then it goes back to pink and it just repeats. So super awesome product. It is still still available on the online store if you want to get some. And then what you're going to do is, it's beautiful like that, right? You could use that on your card easily. But look at what happens when we put all the bits and pieces together. So these are the Extraordinary Flora dies. And just check this out. So this, just like to match it, goes just like that. And now we are going to cut out these beautiful, gorgeous images. Okay, so I'm going to just use a bit of my washi tape here. Or post-it tape, I guess is technically what it is. Make sure that's nicely lined up, and then I'm going to tape it down in place so it doesn't move when I put it through my boss. Mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. But for me, mini boss is just a lot easier to say and kind of more fun. So just making sure it's good and stuck down, not going to move on me. So here's the boss here. Open it up. Let's just make sure that it's almost dry. Okay. So we're going to run this through here. Oh, now look what I did. So we're going to have to line that up again. Apparently, I did not stick my washi tape down very well. Okay. Like that. Oops. You guys are going to want to wait to see the finished card because it comes together so pretty. All right, let's put that lid down quickly, gently, and then we're going to roll this through. You can put these flowers, that washi tape does not have to go on white paper. I've tried it on Pool Party and Petal Pink. Both looked amazing. This gives that whole different look. And then when we pop this off, look at these gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous embellishments we have for our card. So I'm just tucking that die back in there. And look at them. Oh my gosh, love them. The first time I did this, when I wanted to give it a whirl, I'm not kidding you, I sat down, I must have cut out like 8 sections just because it was fun. So please tell me I'm not alone. Sometimes we do things just for fun, right? All right, so we've got these beautiful die cuts. Now we're going to take a little scrap of white. And I'm going to use Encircled with Love. If you read the description, I hinted that we're making a birthday card, so we're going to use this Happy Birthday Wishes. And we're going to stamp that in Secret C. And then we're going to want to get our punch. Stamping that down. And we're going to want a 1 7/8 punch. If you don't have that, 2-inch will work. Even 1 3/4, it'll just be a bit tight, but it'll work. So use whatever circle you have. Maybe you have a circle die. I happen to have the 1 7/8 circle, so we're going to go ahead and use that. I do like the way it gives that nice white border around it. So there we have that. Now let me see, is this dry? Oh, look at it's dry already. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, so I think we need to trim this down. Let me just remember. Yes, we have to trim this with our trimmer. And the reason is I cut it at 1/4 inch wider and longer just because it's hard sometimes to get it right along the edge, as you can see. So this way we can come in and we can cut off that section. So I'm just cutting off a 1/4 inch there, and then you could do 1/8 and 1/8 if you're being particular, but yeah, why not? Let's be particular tonight. So basically, I'm just cutting it down to 3.5 by 4 3/4. Okay. So now you can see we don't have any of that extra dense ink along the edges, and we have this beautiful, fun background. All right. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take. Let me just make sure I got the right one. We're going to take a 3 3/4 by 5 piece of strawberry slush. And we're going to kind of stagger this on it like that. So on a bit of a diagonal on purpose. If you don't like that, you can put it on straight. But I always like to have it, not always like, but I do like the look of it being kind of staggered and layered together like that. So if we just kind of put it on like this. Okay, now we're going to take some ribbon. So I've got the strawberry slush, I think it's called, what is it called? Faux linen ribbon. Okay, so it's the one that came in all the in colors that were released when this annual catalog came out. And we're going to just take our snips, trim that off. Okay, so it's just wide enough to go across the front of the card. And then we're going to fold those ends to the back and just stick them down with your tear tape. Okay. And don't peel that backing off yet. It's just acting right now to hold those ribbon ends in place. All right, now let's grab our card. I've just got a 4 1/4 by 11 thick basic white card base. I've scored it at 5.5, so it's gonna be nice and easy to score. We'll fold that, burnish it, And then we're going to attach this onto the card. So I'm going to try to position it so that my beautiful pattern we created is straight and it's the background paper that's kind of on an angle. So we can go in here and we can take off the back of our tear tape. I should be using my take a pick tool. Slightly less dangerous than my scissors, but you know how it goes. We use whatever's close at hand, right? All right, so there's our seal. Stick that one here, like that. Okay, now this is where it gets super fun. We're gonna start building and putting these all together. So we're gonna stick this happy birthday down here. And for that, I wanna use a few dimensionals, AKA bumpets. So let's just go ahead and put one on the top, one on the bottom. Actually, I'm gonna, if I can, yeah, I'm just gonna move it a little bit in towards the center. And you'll see in just a sec why we're gonna do that. And that is going to come over here. Let's make it like kind of overlap that ribbon and overlap these whole sides. All right, now we're gonna have some fun with these beautiful die cut flowers. And we're just gonna start layering them. So I think this is gonna look super pretty. If we just kind of, do you see what I'm doing? I'm just gonna stagger that pretty rows just like this. And then let's see, what else do we want to use here? There's one, this one, I really like these little buds. So maybe we'll stick those little buds down here. And I like the shape of these leaves, right here, this branch of leaves. We can toss that one kind of like this. And then we can grab one of these pink flowers, these solo ones. Maybe we want to have this come down just a bit. We can stick that flower there. Like, do you see what we're doing? We're just using these beautiful things that were so easy to put together to make a really fun card. And then maybe we want to have, actually, you know what? Let's put this here. This rose can kind of go there. This one can go over top of it, but you still see that pink. So we're just creating a nice little collage. I don't know about you guys, but I think that looks pretty snazzy. So let's go ahead and start gluing that down. So I'm just going to grab it with my take a pick. Maybe I'm going to grab it with my take a pick tool. Yep, we are. Let's put a little bit of this glue on. And then we can stick that back in place. Like that. Oops. Kind of wanted it a bit more. There we go. Okay, that one we're going to put on dimensionals. That one we're going to put on dimensionals. Now let's go ahead and get these guys. Oops. Like that. We're going to take this one. We're going to stick that one under here. This is why we put the bumpets to the middle more, so that we have room to slide everything under. And then we can go ahead and grab some dimensionals to put on this guy as well. And I've got some little ones for up here. So what do you guys think? Do you like this technique? Is it something that you will try? Have you seen it before? I always like to know, like, is this something new? I just discovered it. So I'm curious if I'm the only one or if somebody else is finding this super cool and new. All right, now let's stick that last little flower here. Maybe we even want to, you can see you can layer them. And sometimes just layering them a little different gives it a different look. I think that looks really, really pretty. Now we're going to grab another piece of ribbon. I love a good bow, so let's tie a fun little bow with this ribbon. And this ribbon ties awesome. I love it. So, sometimes, you know, you get those ribbons and you're like, why can't we have this in every color? But anyway, we'll settle with what we get, right? So let's just tweak it. I keep pulling on the tails just to get it a little tighter. I want a really sweet, cute little bow like that. Then we can go ahead and trim the edges, or the ends, like this. like that. We may shorten them. I don't want to get them too short right off the bat. And then the best way to stick your glue down, the best way to glue your ribbon down is with a glue dot. So we'll use a glue dot to get our ribbon bow down. So we'll stick that on there. And then this can just sort of go wherever you want it to be on your, you want it straight, maybe we want that one to be straight like that. So cute. Now we're not done because number one, we have a naked inside. The inside of our card is plain, which we can't have that. And also we have no bling. So first things first, 4 by 5 1/4 piece of strawberry slush. I have got a huge mess. I just looked in the camera and you guys are staring at this terrible mess. Okay, there we go. A little better. Let's go ahead and attach that 3 3/4 by 5 piece of basic white to our 4 by 5 1/4 piece of strawberry slush. Now we can't let these little guys go to waste, so let's find out what we want to do here and make a fun little cluster. So we can, if I can pick them up, and a little bit of glue here. Maybe we want this one like that. We can have this little one here, and even maybe a smaller one tucked in. I like 3s, so let's put this one here. Oops. Be a little patient so it dries, and then we could always even add another little sprig of leaves of some sort here. I like this one. Oh, what the heck? It glued super fast, that one. No wiggle room today. There we go. Now, isn't that beautiful? And of course, let's add, I just don't want to waste these. They're so cute. Put one up here. And we'll put this little pink flower right here as well. There we go. Now that is a beautiful card insert. So we can go ahead and attach that to the inside of our card. Now I have that one hanging over a wee bit. Maybe, hopefully it's going to fit still in the card. If it doesn't, we will trim it off. But we are good. Okay, so that's done. We've got some extra pieces. You could add those to your envelope, leave them for your next card. And now we're just going to add some bling. So I had the Moody palette dots somewhere buried over here. And what I was going for was something that would really pop against this beautiful background. And I liked the look of these white, just nice plain white. But when you add them onto the card, it just really adds, like, look how much that just kind of pops. I hope you can see that in the video, but it really does offset the pink beautifully. And then maybe we just want a couple up here, like that. All right, there is today's card. So again, we use very simple supplies you can find easily. A pack of crayons, you want it, more specifically, you want a nice white crayon. And if you happen to have those great big thick crayons, the ones, you know, that are intended for the younger toddlers and stuff, those work really well as well. But yeah, so we use that. We used our embossing folder, some ink, and our water painter. And we created this gorgeous card. So I hope that you've enjoyed tonight's video. Please leave me a comment and let me know your thoughts. And I'd love to know if you're going to give this a whirl. So let me just come back on screen here and say good night, and thank you so much for spending some of your Thursday evening here with me. I hope I've inspired you to give this a try, or at the very least, get creative at your desk and or in your craft space. Have a super awesome weekend, and I will not be live next week. I am heading out of town for a bit, but I will be the following week. So we'll just pick up there with our sketch night. So join me back here on, what date will that be? It will be April the 16th. So I will be back here April 16th. I will miss you next week, but I hope you find lots of time to be creative. Maybe go back and watch a replay of a video I have here on my channel. And yeah, have a wonderful weekend. Happy Easter, everybody, and I will see you all soon. Cheers.